A Detroit judge was taken off to the bench after a 15-year-old was put in handcuffs. Check it out.
A judge in Detroit is off the bench after standing by his decision to put a 15-year-old girl in handcuffs.
Okay, so check this out. That girl was on a field trip to his courtroom.
You fall asleep in my courtroom one more time, I'm putting you in the back, understood? One thing you'll learn about my courtroom is that I am not a toy. I'm not to be played with.
The teen was with a nonprofit summer program. That is Judge Kenneth King. He removed her from his courtroom, then ordered her to put on a jail uniform and handcuffs, and didn't stop there.
I'm thinking maybe she needs to go to the juvenile detention facility. You do understand that we have a jail for kids.
So do I have any reservations? Do I think I was heavy-handed in what I did? No, I don't, because I'll do whatever it needs to be done to reach these kids to make sure that they don't end up in front of me. So that was my own version of scared straight.
Again, her crime was falling asleep. The teen's mother says the judge was way out of line. She says she's a struggling single mom and her family is moving from place to place, and she thought the summer program would be a good distraction for her daughter. Instead, her daughter is traumatized.
You sleep at home in your bed, not in court.
So the fact that he was talking about you go home and get in your bed, how do you know my baby got a home? How do you know my baby got a bed, her own bed that she can sleep in? She don't have that right now. So she was hired to belittle her in front of the whole world and her friends to make her even feel more worse about our situation. I'm a single mother. I'm trying my best. I'm doing everything that I can.
The district's chief judge says Judge King is being removed from his docket so he can undergo sensitivity training. Judge King had said he reached out to the teen's family and offered to mentor the 15-year-old.
Yeah, I think that he was definitely on a power trip. I did some research on this story. I didn't think that it was a story that we needed to have a whole conversation about, but I think that he was on a power trip. And it was a misunderstanding, right? Because of course he didn't know what her background is. And so on top of that, if he sees a teen falling asleep in his courtroom, because I think that we need to take accountability or really look at it from both lenses. And so I'm in a unique position where I can be objective enough to look at it from both sides. On one hand, I'm sure he includes or he deals with knuckleheads every single day that do not take serious what he got going on. And so what he thought that he was probably doing a good thing as far as making sure that he scared her straight and all of that. But it backfired because he didn't realize that this little girl was probably falling asleep and she was on a field trip because she didn't have a bed and a comfortable place to sleep. So, he was wrong as two left shoes, but I'm also taking into consideration that he probably deals with and is trying to reach out to, and this is his way of reaching out to the youth, to make sure that they understand, because he probably didn't take it into consideration. So it's a lot of people that's outraged about this. I'm not as outraged about it as other people because I think that she'll be fine. But it is a misunderstanding. He was dead wrong. And it's unfortunate that it had to happen to this person and that she actually fell asleep and she wound up being one of the people that caught the repercussions of this judge's wrath. But on the flip side, he said he is trying to mentor her, and it might turn out to be a phenomenal blessing. So don't always cry tears of pain. Sometimes cry tears of joy, because now she got the visibility in front of a judge that could probably change her life in a positive way. So it was his fault. Hey, listen, DeAndre, get out of your feelings, get out of your emotions, get that one woman up out of you. Stop feeling some type of way. Somebody said, if it was your daughter, you'll snap, period. First of all, let me say something. All of these men that keep saying period in the chat, get that little female up out of you, bro. Men don't say period. All right? Men don't say period. And don't censor them. We like to have a long leash. I like the chat. Chat lives matter. So let people say what they want to say as long as they not get overly disrespectful. Get that little fat, man, y'all about to have me say something. Get that little girl up out of y'all, bro. Stop saying period. And if it was my daughter, I would bring her home and I would help her to understand a lesson and talk to her the same way that I'm talking to you. My daughter don't need sensitivity training. My daughter got thick skin. My daughter is one of the number one ranked Taekwondo people in the country. She don't have to deal with all of this female activity and all of this extra emotion. She get it from her coaches, she get it from her mother, and she get it from me every single day. She not sensitive like y'all. Get out of your feelings and get out of your emotions, big dog. If it was your daughter, you would snap, period. No, I would help her to understand that this is what happens in life. And so we have to make the adjustments. And then I would explain to her the same way that I just explained it to you. Get out of your, if it was your daughter. Anyways, moving on. Please don't let me get started this early in the morning. It's Friday. Mayor Eric Adams is being chased by the feds. Check it out.
A federal corruption investigation.
And it's so funny because I already said that the dude was wrong. What y'all want me to do? Go crazy on him? He was wrong. Okay, now what? What happens now? Black people, so sensitive. Be care of black people whose names start with a D. DeAndre. The same way that I was holding y'all accountable for the women's names that start with a lie and end with an I. They be feminine, bro. They be in their emotions.
Into Mayor Adams' 2021 campaign, now
Period,
closing in
Pooh.
on the mayor himself.
Period, Pooh. If it was your daughter, you be mad. Period, Pooh. Like, man, who is this big, tall, feminine man keep saying period with a T at the end of it? Man, if you don't get yourself up out of here.
Prosecutors in the Southern District of New York serving him with a subpoena to hand over potential evidence in their case.
By requiring the documents, text messages, and other type of communications from the mayor himself, this shows that they are getting closer to building the case around the mayor.
Ken Gray is a retired FBI special agent.
You're trying to show what the mayor received and what the mayor provided in exchange for that.
The political probe partially stems from the opening of a new Turkish consulate in
I'm trying to focus and y'all keep talking junk. And I'm trying to stay focused. I'm just trying to understand why they kept saying period. Every guy was saying, if it was you, period. Period. Yo, come on, fellas. Remove that out of your vocabulary. Don't say period to me. Don't ever say period again in your life. Let me... Why we do this whole week after hours has been an absolute disaster. This part of the show, hey, listen, we just gonna strike this after hours from the docket for the rest of the week. This whole part of the show has just been a disaster.
In Manhattan, it's been alleged that Adams or those close to him urged FDNY inspectors to greenlight its occupancy, an alleged quid pro quo dating back nearly 3 years.
Whether or not the mayor actually received anything from the Turkish government as far as campaign contributions, which would be foreign contributions, would be illegal.
2 women close to the mayor already had their homes raided by the feds, and Adams has repeatedly denied any wrongdoing.
We don't, do quid pro quo. We follow the law. Whatever the reviewers are looking for, we are fully cooperating with it. And my role is to allow them to do their job without interference.
Thursday night, his campaign attorney said in a statement they've been doing their own investigation and that they've, quote, not identified any evidence of illegal conduct by the mayor.
Well, of course, the mayor's counsel was going to say that they didn't identify any evidence that he did anything illegal. But the feds is coming after him. They say the feds is closing in on him.
Saying, quote, to the contrary, we have identified extensive evidence undermining the reported theories. The mayor now going head-to-head with the FBI and several potential mayors.
You said you want to remove is giving also from the fellow. Yo, it is a lot of... We gonna talk about that. I got an entire segment that's dedicated to black men today. Don't worry, we gonna get there. Miss Joy, we gonna get there.
Mayoral challengers.
Approval ratings are not great, and they've never been that great. And this certainly isn't going to help with any of that. In fact, things the voters in New York really care about are not going the way Eric Adams needs them to go to win re-election. That's a much bigger threat to his re-election bid.
And again, no charges have been filed in connection to this case. Deputy Mayor Fabian Levy tells me tonight that Adams will continue to cooperate with this investigation, which he hopes will lead to a quick end to the probe. So far, there's no
So Eric Adams, I had been informing y'all, and a lot of y'all are new to the show, but I had informed y'all a lot of y'all about the fact that Eric Adams had been under investigation. His aides, houses has been raided. They've been quiet for a little while, but it seems like they're starting to close in on it. And so a lot of people are paying attention to that. And then last but not least, Oakland teen is dead after an argument. For those of us that's been born in the hood, this is not news to us. You can sit over here. You don't have to stay over there or nothing like that. Oh, okay, that's cool.
Fox 2. A life gone too soon. Tonight, a mother struggling to move forward after her 17-year-old son was shot and killed in East Oakland.
Being my only son, that was just
she looked just like her son.
That was like my heart, you know. And this is every mother's worst nightmare.
The victim's first day of his senior year in high school would have been today. Good evening, everyone. I'm Mike Meeback.
And I'm Christina Rendon. The young victim was killed in Oakland while spending time with a family friend less than 2 weeks ago. New at 10 tonight, KTVU's Amber Lee is live in Oakland after speaking with his mother about the loss. Amber.
Christina, mom has a message that gun violence should never be accepted as being normal. She's urging parents to talk to their children about resolving differences peacefully.
He always found the light in any situation. He was very intelligent.
Tawana Grant is struggling with grief over the loss of her 17-year-old son, Kenny Huff of Berkeley, to gun violence.
Him being my only son, that was like my heart, you know. And this is every mother's worst nightmare.
On August 2nd, just after 6 p.m., police say officers responding to a ShotSpotter alert found the teen suffering from a gunshot wound on Garfield Avenue in East Oakland. He died at the scene. Mom tells me Kenny had been visiting a family friend there. She says he had gotten in an argument with someone he knew outside the home, and the situation quickly escalated. Police say so far no one's been arrested and that the investigation is ongoing.
Well, how can Oakland investigate or arrest anybody when they already overwhelmed and they don't even have enough staff in the first place? Look, it's going to get worse before it gets better. It's going to get worse before it gets better. That I can tell you, that I guarantee you. All of y'all single mothers that then, got raising your sons, people that can't get out the hood and continue to vote the way that y'all vote, all of this stuff that's happening in these communities, when y'all say it ain't no police presence and y'all was out there protesting to defund the police, it's unfortunate because this mother, she probably put her all into this kid that was 17, 18 years old, 16, 17, 18 years old, going into his senior year. And then now she got to live the rest of her life with this trauma and this misery of a young kid that was just basically out getting into an argument. And next thing you know, Menace to Society, Boys in the Hood all over again. Man, don't y'all know that the movies came out in the early 90s and we're seeing the exact same thing? Dog, to think about, it's wild to think about that a movie can come out in like 93, 94. And we could be here 30 years later, and it's the exact same thing that's happening in your hood, except for it's exponentially worse. 30 years ago, those movies came out, and we still fresh, Boys in the Hood, Menace to Society, all of those movies, South Central, it's the same thing. And y'all been having the same leaders. Different name, same hue, same pitch, same police presence, same everything, and we still doing the same thing, same conversations. In 2054, it's going to be the same thing. Same thing. Ladies and gentlemen, that's your Quick Hits.